Mic check.
Hold mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops. Stop, stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown 6060 cycle. Who throws hits around?
Welcome to another exciting episode of Wine Down with Kev. Trending topics. So excited to be here. Must start by saying thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you to all of our subscribers. We coming up, Nick. We coming up.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Hey, we're going to jump right into trending topics today. So much is going on. But the first thing I want to do, you recognize, in addition to Kev and Dom, you recognize a special guest in the studio today. Not actually a special guest. This is Dom's best friend. He's Dom's brother from another mother. Mr. Vachel Toussaint. We have history. This young man right here, he's an entrepreneur, owning and operating his own business down in Florida. But way back in the day before that, one of his first jobs was working directly with me. Vachel, welcome to Wine Down with Kev. What's going on?
All is well. I cannot complain. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you. One, for that early opportunity, which we'll dive into that and talk about what that has meant to me in the projection of my career, for sure. But just more so, just to build this platform to have people like come together and converse. It's been one of the things that I've always felt was missing within our community, where it's like, why aren't people talking to each other about topics that are meaningful, but not only speaking, but having actionable steps to actually move the needle forward? So 1,000%. Thank you for the platform.
No worries at all. I don't know about nobody else in the community, but you and Dom, for all, is it 20 years, Nico? Y'all been best friends? 20? Are we at 20 right now? I don't want to give away y'all age, but y'all been at this friendship thing for a minute.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a little more than 20, not to put the age thing back out.
21 years. So how you feeling this morning?
Old. Now that you said that, I feel old.
My bad. Well, bring the energy up. Let's go to a different place. What are the trending topics? What are we talking about today?
The first one I want to bring up, my car was in the shop.
Okay.
I didn't have a car for a couple of days.
That hurts.
It hurt really bad. It humbled me. I got my car back. They fixed the car, but they broke my glasses.
Ooh.
So that hurt my feelings. You could have just kept the car. I would have kept the glass. I would have been right here, right now.
So bad thing from an insurance standpoint? Not covered.
Yeah, not covered.
Not covered. No glasses. We're not filing no claim for no glasses.
Yeah, so that's fine. But it's not about me. There's people going on with some more serious issues going on. California fires.
Ooh.
Yeah, devastating. The statistics are up to 1,000+ homes we lost. 25 casualties around there.
Thoughts and prayers with all the families, all the lives that are lost in this devastating disaster.
Tragic times, and if people could just come together, there's a lot of different relief programs out there. If you want to look for it, if you want to help and donate, there's a lot of different ways you can do so. And we get everyone back on their feet, and that's what humans are good for, is overcome and triumph. So
let's talk about California for a second, and we're going to go back to Vachel. You and I were in California together.
Yep.
Beautiful area, Santa Monica Beach, Venice Beach, walking around, just taking it all in.
Beautiful.
Everything, right? What do you remember from that? What do you remember about California from that trip?
I think that California is the weather. The weather it's a mix between hot and cold.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the most. It's like the perfect weather, beauty, sunshine, basketball at Venice Beach.
Mm-hmm.
All the vendors and food and stuff. Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Prayers out for those people. You know what I remember too? Remember we went to the skate park?
Yes.
And we had to jump off we went to the skate park. We went to look at all the skaters, and then you had to jump off of a 5-foot ledge.
Yes.
And a lady in a wheelchair asked you, she's like first day with the new feet or something. She said you looked uncomfortable walking.
Oh my God!
And then
I remember that.
On the wheelchair. Then she went down the ramp.
Yes.
In the wheelchair. That was cool. That was sick.
Yeah. She challenged me. She definitely gave me some appreciation for having feet, because she was in the skate park. She was enjoying herself and making it happen. But thank you for remembering the low light from the trip.
I remember that. Yeah, it just crossed my mind. That was crazy.
that definitely was crazy. But go come back to the California wildfires in a minute. But Chow, happy to have you in the house today. Welcome home. Welcome back to New York.
I appreciate you.
How's Florida treating you?
It's treating me well. It's quite funny. Very much as Nick was mentioning about California, the weather in Tallahassee, Florida, in particular, where I'm at, it's hot and cold. So it's North Florida for the listeners out there. So it's not necessarily Miami, where you might think it's super hot all the time. Fort Lauderdale, where it's raining pretty much 300 days out of the year. So Tallahassee is this interesting spot. For those who have never visited, I would definitely say check it out. It's kind of like a hidden gem. It's actually the capital of Florida.
Okay, but Joe, I could tell you changed already. You said it's hot and cold in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
What is your new definition of cold?
Oh, well.
What is your new definition? You're not working with a New York definition anymore.
No. So what I realized is that the New York definition, albeit for those who are here, they consider like, oh, this is just normal cold. This is Arctic cold, right? So like we have to kind of get that straight. And this is Arctic cold. So for me, cold is maybe 40 degrees, 50 degrees. I'm like, I have 3 jackets on, 2 pairs of socks, and yeah, that's cold for me now, for sure.
You changed.
Yeah,
You knew.
a little bit.
You knew. So what happened to the young man that worked with me? Let's talk about that. That young man, happy for his first opportunity. What do you remember that? So people, Vachel, not only is he Dom's best friend, I've always been about giving young people an opportunity. What do you remember about coming to the office in Middle Village, Metro Mall time? What do you remember about working with me?
Well, I remember that it was amazing, first and foremost. But the other thing I remember is that it was fairly early hours.
Yes.
We were putting in some work. But the interesting thing about the work, and it's something I try to keep with me throughout time, is like work should be this fun thing. I find that all too often people are doing work that they're like, I get a paycheck. But I'm like, well, are you happy? Are you content? Because the money isn't going to do that necessarily. So in those times early on, I'm like, we were with the community in this mall. We were handing out flyers. We were talking to people. It was so active. And I'm like, dude, we just worked the whole shift and we got paid. I'm like, dude, all we did was spoke to people and shared some information. So for me, I've always honored work from that moment where it's like, oh, it should always be fun. It shouldn't be something where I'm like, I have to go to this place now.
No,
so
you shouldn't drag. You shouldn't drag too. But thank you for handing out those flyers and talking to those people. That's way back before I was who I am right now. It wasn't very digital. There was no AI. It was you had to actually talk to those human beings. And you're actually very good at talking people. But talk about the talking. Talk about your business and what you're doing in Tallahassee right now. You've been so passionate about what you do for so long. I'm just proud of you to see you have it manifest.
I appreciate that. So, I mean, before I would even say about the business in Florida, because it's kind of a pathway to get there, but to make a long story short, the way I typically explain it is as a series of unfortunately fortunate events are failing forward as the book intends. So the latest part that I got to most recently, how I even learned about flotation therapy, which is the business that I opened in Tallahassee, was that I actually wrote a book in 2016, which was a compilation of quotes that I came up with. Which through writing that book, I was then shown a quote by this gentleman named Dr. John C. Lilly, which he's actually the first person who created the sensory deprivation environments. So I tried that the first time, immediately fell in love with it. A couple of things dawned on me in that moment where I met my best friend sitting here next to me through the game of basketball, which has a very strong part in my heart. But long story short, I find this center after playing basketball, and there's 1,500 pounds of Epsom salt inside of this tank. Now, there's days that Dom and I walked back and forth to the park to play basketball, and we're like, our bodies kind of hurt, but we're young at this point, so it's like, we don't need the Epsom salt, etc. I wish in retrospect somebody told me about this environment so that we could take advantage of it. But once I found out about it, in New York, I then moved to Tallahassee, where it was more affordable to even shoot the shot. So I've been there for about 4.5 years so far, and it's been amazing experience. Just reaching out to the people and introducing them to something that they've never really tried before. A lot of people have like that, oh my God, what is this thing? So it's really cool from that sake.
Where can people see you online to see your business? I see you having people taking pictures at your spot. Where can they follow you online?
Yeah, for sure. So our handles on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. We are just on TikTok as well, so bear with us on the content on that front. But all the handles are going to be at Hyperbolic Float. That's HYPERBOLIC Float as spelled.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
Wine Down with Kev is all about asking people how do they decompress from whatever you do for a living, whatever walk of life, athlete, day-to-day work. It's all stressful. And if you're looking for a way to decompress, how does Hyperbolic float? How does that fit into helping people break the monotony of their day and recover so they can get back to their best version of themselves?
Yeah, for sure. So the first part of it, as I mentioned, is the Epsom salt. For those who don't know, Epsom salt's a natural anti-inflammatory. So typically people might put a handful or two inside their tub at home after a long day and kind of just decompress. It pulls out the inflammation. Essentially what we have is 1,500 pounds of said Epsom salt. So, I mean, it's a lot of Epsom salt. So the first thing it does is it's relaxing your body off rip. But then effectively, because there's so much salt inside the environment, you're literally turning off gravity. So a lot of the times, gravity is the thing that causes the arthritis, the joint pains, etc. Naturally reducing that pressure, it makes the body feel a lot better. So it's twofold for the physical body, but then they also say the mind and the body is attached. So inside this environment, it's also light-proof and soundproof. So you're not really getting the coworkers, the boss, the peers. You're just kind of reflecting on your day, on yourself. So those two things in tandem, it's really meditative and just a way to get away from everything, really.
And Nick, you've been telling me that Vichel has some pretty famous celebrity sons that are in school in the area and they're stopping by.
Yeah. Pretty tall guy. Yeah, Shaq's son was interested in killing it. Yeah. He's talking to Shaq for a little bit.
Yeah. So, and it's funny enough. I didn't even know he was going to be coming to the university. So he actually attends FAMU, and my center is maybe 12 to 15 minutes from FAMU. So, again, going back to those early days of talking to people in those malls, I'm like, wait, we have a digital space where the mall is essentially everywhere, and I can reach out to anyone. So knowing that, having that prior experience, I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to reach out to this young man. So I reached out to him. We started a conversation. He hasn't quite come in yet, so hopefully he watches this episode and he kind of gets on the ball. But we'll make it happen for sure.
Let's plug and make it happen. And big shout out to Shaq. Shaq identifies himself on LinkedIn as owner of several businesses. So he's my kind of person. But Nick, what else do we want to talk about today?
Everything's good. Just, I don't know, business is booming for young people, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking to hire myself to help other people with their business. It's in the digital space, Chat GPT, just going up and moving with love as well.
Moving with love?
Yeah, just moving with more love. I feel like there's a lot of hate going on, and I don't know, there's 12 different types of love. Do you know that?
Really?
Love?
Yeah, 12. You got romance, is different type. We can get into it if you want to.
We talking about love? Now, that's not really on brand, but if you want to talk about love, how about if I excuse myself from the host seat and let you do it, because I've never really talked about love on Wine Down with Kev, so not really my comfort zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide out the host seat.
All right.
I'm going to let you slide in.
Fair.
Hey, let's do it.
We have a lady that's here as well. Can we invite her into the conversation to talk about love? Because that's a little off brand for me.
Let's do it. If I can't talk to my dad about it, I'll talk to someone else about it.
Go.
All right.
I don't know.
It's fine.
I don't know.
Can we even do this?
Yeah.
I don't see
Is
why
this
not.
Gabriella, come on
We
in.
gotta have a woman. If we're gonna talk about love,
this is off brand
let me
for me,
excuse
so
myself. I'll have
I
you sit.
think maybe you'll be better in the conversation.
Let's talk about love.
I'm excited.
Hello, Gabriella.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys both.
Hello.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
I'm Dominique. I haven't formally introduced myself. I'm
Nice.
Dominique. This is my friend Vichel.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gabriella.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Okay, so I want to talk of this is all I wanted to say about love. Now my dad doesn't want to talk to me about it, but I just learned yesterday there's there's 12 types of love. Did you know that?
Not at all.
Okay, so a lot of them, they have Greek names to them, like eros or philia or familial. I'm gonna pronounce them wrong because I don't care. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, correct me in the comments.
Yes.
And subscribe while you're at it. You can do that. Okay, so yeah, you have eros, familial, and I think in our generation, the times that we're in now, we're focusing a lot on romance type of love. Like, but there's other types. There's friend love. I love my best friend here. There's friend love. There's family love. There's playful love. But that's all. What do you think about that?
Well, I am a lover.
Nice.
Love to love. But I don't really think people focus that much on romance anymore.
Really?
I think it is so overlooked.
Okay.
Nowadays, I think it's more materialistic.
Yes.
If anything, like people want their love bought.
Yes.
And it's so sad because I feel like I was like born in like the olden times.
Yes,
like,
yes.
I'm currently waiting on my Prince Charming, so hopefully he comes.
Oh. Okay. Chell, how you feel?
Are you in love?
So I ever was in love, so I'll start off by saying that. But I don't know. So like, I feel like I'm a bad person to have this particular conversation. So out of my two best friends, yourself, and our other best friend who's actually in St. Augustine at the moment.
Yes.
Funny enough, in high school, I was the one being told that I would be the first one with children, etc., etc. Now that we're on the topic of love, my two best friends have children, and I don't even. So it's like, I don't know if I'm a good person to speak to about this, but what I will say in terms of those 12 types, I've come to this understanding that love seems to be a frequency to me, right?
Yes.
So I'm very big on frequencies, vibes, as the new generation might call it. But I feel like it's a frequency where, as if you tap into that frequency, then you can do the things that we might think love would afford us. So like you said, romance is kind of this thing out of the window. I'm perceiving that people are just not in that tune of frequency. In fact, I think everybody's in fear. There's so many other feelings out there. I think that if we just tuned into the frequency of love, then we can show those who we actually adore that, oh, like, I want to do things for you. It's not just I want to get to this or that. So I'm kind of trying to create that idea in my mind. So it's interesting you say that there's 12 different ways, because now I have to study those and see, well, what do those ways have to do with the way I'm thinking?
Yes.
Well, I just don't think love is something you need to study. It's just a feeling, and it's just something that you just genuinely act on.
Yes.
Like, there's just so many ways to, like, show how you love somebody, like friend, boyfriend, husband, dog. Like, I don't think it's something that is, like, jotting down.
A question for you. So if not to jot it down or think through the process, if you act impulsively because there's such this high level of like,
I know.
This person is just
I've
awesome.
had those moments before.
Then you can kind of get yourself in an interesting position. So some part of it, you got to kind of think through it. You want to act as truthfully and honestly within that feeling that you have. But if you don't spend the time to think about how would that feeling come off to the next person, you might be too forceful, not forceful enough. So there's some planning to it.
Yeah, I also just think that you love differently as you age. Like, when you're younger, you have a more intense fact of what you think is love. It could be a form of love, but it's not really the love that, like, you so-called, like, want to build on.
Yes.
So, like, now, I don't know.
That's what
I'm
noticed.
looking for love.
Looking for love. We got you with that. When I saw that there was 12 different types, I said, oh gosh, I had a relationship once upon a time. I was using this type of love, and I thought it was this type of love. You have obsession. It's so many. I don't even want to bring them up. Look into it. Maybe the next episode we get into it. But I just wanted to put it out there. Be careful out there.
I know.
There's love in the air. Just be careful.
It's a beautiful thing for there to be love in the air and not fear and everything else. Like, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we need to start to introduce love to our communities, to the kids, to ourselves. Like, I think we've moved away from that for a decent amount of time. So I think this topic is really timely because we got to turn that thing up.
I have a question.
Yes.
Knowing you guys are males and I'm a female, it is much easier for females to love. When you guys first fell in love, was it hard for you to admit that you were in love?
Absolutely.
Well, if you guys ever did first fall in love.
You want to answer first?
Oh, you're gonna put me in the hot seat? No, so so it wasn't, honestly. And the way I grew up, I'm the youngest of three, and I do have an older sister, so I feel like I've kind of always had this understanding of the emotional side. So when I kind of felt it, I'm like, oh, well, this is how I feel. You can either love it or hate it, and we can work through it, but I have to share how I feel. So in that moment, it wasn't too hard to be expressive about what I felt in terms of that particular person. Not at all, actually.
Yeah, same with me. My parents have been married for 45 plus years. And watching my brother, he's 6 years older than me. He had relationships as well. He was in love. So for me, it was easy to admit it.
Really?
It was easy to voice it, say it. And the girl was like, relax, it's the summer. Like, go do something with yourself. And I was like, whoa, please. So it was fine. It was fine. I had my experiences. But yeah, it's a great feeling. How about you?
Nothing.
Yeah. But never?
I think I thought I was, but I wasn't. I think it was just deep lust.
Oh, yeah.
It's like in the moment, it really wasn't. So I wouldn't even acknowledge that. I just know when the time comes, it's going to feel so good.
You feel it. You feel it. I want to say, too, I don't want to reveal your age, but you're a college kid.
Yeah. Stop. People always think that I thought I was going to be married with kids by now.
No. In Texas, they move like that. New York is a little different. So many people out here. You're meeting people every day. Oh, the list goes on. I could tell you what's going on.
I know.
Question for you. And this is interesting because I have a sister. We have some of these conversations too. Being that your thought was that you should be married with children by now, etc. Do you lean into that as in like, oh, this is a good thing that I'm not in this position quite yet? Or are you like, oh my God, I'm behind schedule. I need to speed up.
I'm panicking. No, I say it only because that's like, I feel like when you think younger, like when you're younger, you just think like that. But I'm just going to go with the flow. Whatever is meant for me will come for me.
Yes. That's what I wanted to say. You're a college kid still. And we went to college. What year? Do you remember what year you were a freshman? Not year you graduated.
Why do you I feel like you're so young.
So we graduated in 2015?
No, that's when you graduated college.
Oh, you talking about high school?
What year was your freshman year of college?
2010?
Yes, 2011.
11.
It was our freshman year of college, which is 14 years ago. Do the calculator.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
14
incredible.
years ago. So, yeah, we've been around the block.
Yeah.
Spent the block a couple times. What I want to say, too, is how do you feel about the word adulting?
Scary.
Scary, right? Yeah.
It is scary.
It's a myth. That's what I want to say. It's a myth. The word adulting, like being boring, having all your ducks in a row and making sure you shop on Mondays and you do your laundry on Friday. That's organization. But
No, yeah. I don't ever want to think I have to internally change how I am. Like, I don't want to be old. I'm going to try to stay as young and fun and energized as I possibly can.
Yes. That's what I want to leave you with today.
I think people think that, like, as you grow up, like, you need to, like, be, like, so stern. Like, no, you don't. Like, just live life. You only literally have one life to live. I'm not going to be boring.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really quick, I was just going to say, it's really interesting that you say it's a myth because I've been thinking about this for some time. I'm like, okay, like, I get the idea of adulting, but the point of it all is, as you were saying, is to always remain childlike in a sense. Like, yes, the idea of adulting is that you have responsibilities and the bill comes in on the first and, like, you better take care of that or the lights certainly won't be on. But within that process, you got to find joy. You got to find, like, love, admiration for others. Elsewise, those bills, the idea of adulting will literally eat you up. And I feel like this is what's been happening to so many people where it's like, by the time they turn a certain age, like whether their body's calcified or the mind is calcified, which I think if the body's calcified, you got a chance. But the mind, once that thing starts to go, people are like kind of completely clocked out. And I think that usually comes when we start to say like, well, you better be an adult, or adults do this, adults do that. I'm like, slow down, people. We're still children. At least try to be in heart.
Yeah.
That's what I always usually think.
That's something that they reminded us. It's like, grow up. And it's like, please. But
like,
yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. I wanted to leave you two with that and tell the people out there, the viewers watching, just sitting here with two future multi-millionaires. They'll be millionaires by 2032.
We'll move them a little bit forward, but we'll work on it.
Yeah. So that's
I'm hoping in like 2028. But...
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at with both of your businesses. I know you have a lot going on for you right now. You're about to connect with a lot of people, a lot of good people, a lot of business bulldogs out there. And Vachel, you got a bright future ahead of you. I wanted to bring up 2 more things and we could wrap up. I said it earlier. I wanted to hire myself to help young people out and help my friends and loved ones out. Starting with my little brother. He YouTubes right now. He's doing streaming Twitch. He's posting his videos, playing Grand Theft Auto and all of this stuff. And I want to do more, posting his shorts, posting his link out there daily. I want to do things to get my brother's work out there, and I want to do the same for you and you as well. So we'll stay in touch, and whatever you guys need, I leave off with this, ChatGPT. You work with ChatGPT, yes. Right? And AI and all that stuff. So yesterday, my uncle wanted to do a contract where he's helping some people out. He loaned some money out. So he wrote it on a piece of paper with no lines. He said, I'm giving out this much. I want this in return, and they keep the rest on this date. And he said, can you make a contract? I said, yeah. So I'm sitting with Vachel, and I was like, what's the prompt? And I had my phone. What prompt should I tell it? He said, take a picture of it and tell it contract. Make a contract now. And I took a picture of this, my uncle's handwriting. I said, make a contract. I said, well, can you make a contract? He said, stop asking it and tell it what to do. I said, oh, okay, we'll do. And it did it. It wrote up a contract just like that. So what are some other features that we should be looking forward to with ChatGPT?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So many things are going to come out within like the next few years. Like our kids, well, my kids.
Yes.
You guys already have kids. My kids are going to live in a world of full-blown technology. Like not have to lift a finger.
Yes.
Probably.
Whatever your kid, whatever they want to be, it's going to be like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I also do feel like there's going to be a lot of jobs lost. And that's like kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, it'll be shifted. They won't lose. They'll be transferred. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's going to be mind-blowingly interesting. I mean, like for Lord's sakes, we have supercomputers in our pockets now, whereas I used to go to the library to go on dial-up computers, and it was slow as all whatever. So
recording stopped.
The fact that we still have this amount of technology to go through, and we're just seeing the beginnings of AI, like we can create full-length movies by a prompt now. This is insane.
Cool. I mean, this is the go-to guy. This is my man. He knows a lot about ChatGPT. We'll get into that another time. I thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
Being my guests. We'll chop it a lot more. This isn't our first or last conversation. Well, it's our first conversation. It's not going to be our last.
Not at all.
I'm just looking forward to it. And thank you to Wine Down with Kev. And that is Trending Topics with Dominique Span. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. And subscribe.
Come through, take a